Greetings, fellow humans. My name's Data, and I've always known that I've wanted to be a game developer. I started really early with Flash games. I would make really bad Flash games, and I never posted them anywhere. I would just kind of play with them, or I would download other people's Flash games and kind of pick it apart and kind of see how they put it together. I think my first real game development experience was in high school, and I started I think my sophomore year, or my third year of high school. My third year of high school and my fourth year of high school. So I took the last two. I took the last 2 years of high school in a trade school called Warren Tech, and we did a lot of game development stuff. I think the first year I made my first kind of real game. It was like an Asteroids clone, and little Data had some sort of Mandela-like grasp of saving work. So I wish I could show you everything, but you'll have to take my word for it. So my second year, we got a really cool teacher, Ryan Stroop, and if he's seeing this, I'm sorry, don't hate me. I bypassed school security by just saving his fucking password, and he got really angry at me. And, I get it. He probably appreciated the job he got and didn't want to lose it to some stupid ass kid that he was really cool with. But yeah, so he had some really awesome ideas about like full dive VR, and we spent school budget on getting EEG helmets, which I later purchased one, and we were working with the Oculus Dev Kit 2, and I had proposed to the class as a project was like a FPS RTS, like full dive, like shooter, and I later found a game. In there I found a game called Nuclear Dawn, and I realized that we were just kind of plagiarizing it. But the other thing we found about full dive VR is that there's kind of a gestation period where your mind has to like kind of learn how to send commands that are readable. And the only thing we were really able to accomplish is being able to walk around island, virtual reality island. Which, it isn't bad, right? I would say if it were to progress past that, you would have to have probably some peripheral controllers. So I don't think any full dive VR game right now is going to be very crazy. But, I would definitely like to see what it has in store for the future if they do start pushing VR more, which seems to be the case. I think my biggest struggle in the whole process was, kind of creating art, and, I definitely needed to buff up on my coding skills, so I spent about 2 years at a community college taking a program that they later took down due to just not enough interest, but it had a lot of like programming classes and art stuff. I think I picked up a lot of the tools that I wanted to use, or learned of a lot of the tools that I wanted to use during my initial years of college. When I moved on to a university, I decided to pick one that specialized in art because I feel like that's a bulk of the work. I mean, granted, like, programming's pretty difficult in its own right, but yeah, learning how to kind of compile everything and do all that nonsense. You're really only going to get that sort of education at an art school. And so I went to art school, and I worked with a group of guys. We called ourselves Fourth Axis, and I helped start their RPG, Children of You played as an earthbending alien. It's kind of like an FPS where you could create like cover or bridge obstacles, or at least that was the initial concept. It looks like they kind of canceled the project after I left, and I had to leave because my father killed himself, and I think it came kind of towards the end of graduation, and I was diagnosed as being bipolar. I guess I have I don't have like a serious problem with bipolar, but I think what happened was when I dealt with the stress of my father's suicide, it drove me into kind of just this insanely manic state, and I'd go kind of in and out of it for a few years, but during that time I think I just kind of wanted to work independently, and I put together a bunch of projects that I'm showing off now. I'll be creating individuals videos for each project to kind of explain them. I think during that time I really wasn't ready to apply for jobs. Where I live, there's not a lot of opportunities, so I kind of had to find other means of making money. I know my college had suggested maybe getting into graphic design. My issue is I didn't spend all this time learning to develop games to go off and make t-shirts. And don't get me wrong, I definitely like to join a team. I don't know. There's a lot of companies out there now, and a lot of the companies I grew up enjoying have gone bankrupt, so I don't know. I guess I don't have the same sentimental attachment that I did for a lot of other IPs. So, after a lot of prototyping and demoing, and I've come to a project that I'm gonna be spending the vast majority of my time on.